Just open that new one let's go.
Welcome to our board meeting this evening. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Amy, would you take roll call, please?
Mrs. Talby.
Here.
Mr. Gilbert.
Here.
Mr. Detzel.
Here.
Mr. Heather.
Here.
Mr. Teetzort.
Here.
Start by reading our mission statement. The Northwest Local School District will create a responsive learning community where all students are valued, challenged, and guided along a pathway to success. And I need a motion and a second to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Passes 5-0.
Okay, we would like to say that everyone is here tonight for the board meeting, but we know that there's some special recognition happening tonight. So at this time, I want to call up Dustin Gehring to begin the recognition of the fall competitive music and athletic groups.
It's okay to clap for me. That's okay. It's all right. Well, good evening, friends and family, and our Board of Education. We get a chance to celebrate. Breaking a microphone. That's a good start. I'm going to hand this over to Matt Fisher.
Dustin, there's another one right here. Don't break that one too.
I'll break this one too.
Easy, Tiger.
Right. I'm known for breaking things. Okay. So we have 3 schools to celebrate tonight, and we're excited to do so. We're going to proceed this up just a little bit. So when I ask the school, for example, when I say our Pleasant Run Middle School participants, I'll have all of those students step over, right over to the blue line. Then we'll have our leader come up here and we'll present those awards. After you receive your reward, just simply go right back into the blue line, and then at the end, I'll bring everybody up onto the yellow line for a round of applause, and then also to wave to our Board of Education as well. So we're going to loop that through, and then at the end of the 3 schools, when all 3 schools are finished, we'll take the entire group outside for pictures, and then there's also a chance for you to leave if you'd like to, but of course you're always welcome to stay. But I always like to give you an exit strategy if you're looking for that, okay? So with that being said, oh, we sound rough here, Mr. Fisher. I'd like to bring up Dan Hoard from Pleasant Run Middle School to present our Pleasant Run Middle School awards. We'll have all of our Pleasant Run Middle School Knights step right on over to the blue line. If you're here from Pleasant Run Middle School, step on over to the blue.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Board of Education and our administrative staff for allowing us to be here this evening for our young students to be recognized, because it's so important. At this time, we have our 7th grade football team, which were league champions, undefeated this year. And we have our coach, Pop. And he's going to introduce the other 2 coaches as well as the players.
As Dan Hoard said, very proud to be on the league champions. We got our little trophy with us. Coach Ed here is going to read off our names, and we'll get this going for you.
Figured I'd put it up there or whatever.
I am Isaiah Ashurst. Tavion Birch, Alex Gonzalez, Ryder Cordray, Aubrey Griswold, Tamir Coperson, Tyrion Du Bois, Cody Feldman, Kenneth Gilbert, Jamari Hill, Cameron Hall, DeLandis Huff, Christian Johnson, Nick Livingood, and Marcus McLeod. Easton Powell, Javante Reynolds, Jay Shelton, Larry Sterling, and Kyrese Watkins. Now.
At this time, I'd like to also introduce our 7th grade volleyball team. Morgan Hall did an exceptional job as a first-year coach in leading our team to a 2nd place in the SWAT District Championships. Morgan?
I would like to recognize the following students: Miranda Scheitzer, Jaslyn Brockman, Maddie Likens, Riley Cotton, London Walker Watley, and Ella Craig, who could not be here tonight. Thank you.
All right, we're going to have our Pleasant Run Middle School night. Step right on over here, on over to the yellow line if you wouldn't mind. Come on over. I know our parents want to take a picture and all those kind of things right over here. We're going to hold that applause just for a second. While we're doing that, next up will be Northwest High School, but just hold tight for 1 second.
Congratulations.
Right there.
Out of your way.
Trophy's never in my way, sir. Well, we got some incredible student athletes up here. Let's give these guys a big giant round of applause.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
All right, we'll have our Pleasant Run Middle School students sit on down. If we can have our Northwest High School students step on over to the blue line. Any of our Northwest High School
Thank you
students
for being here.
step on over to the blue line. All right, I'd like to bring to the podium our athletic director. Have a big round of applause for Lee Johnson.
Thank you. Again, thank the Board of Education for recognizing our student athletes as they go through their educational journey at Northwest High School. First and foremost, I'm going to bring up our volleyball coach, Coach Calvin Hester.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I want to say how excited we are about the future of our program. 7th grade team, I don't know where, there they are. Congratulations on a great season. We're really excited for you guys to grow into our program here in a couple years. So with that being said, I'll get on to my athlete that I have for tonight, which is Miss Lauren Brown. And she can't be here, unfortunately, because she is starring in the basketball game tonight at Hamilton High School. So that's where she is, but her mom is over here. She can come on up to take the award. So Lauren this year was recognized for her great accomplishments as a first-team all-conference athlete. She's only a sophomore, but she earned our MVP award, the Knight Award this year, for leading the team in kills and blocks and digs. Second in the conference in blocks with 50. So incredible statistical season from Lauren. She also led a really young team to our best record since 2016. So the future looks really bright, and we're really excited for her leadership and where she takes us in the next few years.
And from our musical department, we're going to recognize our student, A.J. Shelton. He was actually 6th chair, in District 14 OMEA Honor Band participant. Congratulations. Next up, I want to bring up our football coach, Coach Brandon Shelton.
How's everybody doing tonight? Thanks for having me tonight. It's a great opportunity to recognize our student athletes. First one I'm going to bring up is a freshman football player who's got a very bright future for us, Hezekiah Kelly. Next will be Sean Perry. Sean Perry's actually got 3 offers to play at the next level in continuous education. Another guy that's looking to continue his education and play football at the next level, E.J. Walker, who's a great guy for us this year as well. And another senior we had who has 3 offers right now, looking to gain probably 2 more these next couple weeks, Brandon Rice. And then last I had Kingston Hill. Kingston Hill's got some traction from some big schools starting to like him, and he was also our team MVP, so we're very excited to have him back for another season.
Thank you. And to make sure we understand the honors, they're all awarded first team all conference and also received honorable mention for all Southwest Ohio. Next up, we're going to recognize our soccer players, starting with our ladies team. First up is, she was recognized as first team all conference, and she's a sophomore, so we're excited to have her for the next 2 years, and that's JL Hill. Also recognized as first team all Southwest Ohio Conference, and if I'm not mistaken, I think she scored 4 goals in 1 game? 5. 4 goals in 1 game, and that's Jasmine Rodriguez. We're going to move ahead to our men's team as well. Very excited to see our men's team play this year. We actually hosted a soccer game, playoff game at home, which they won in dramatic fashion. It went to a golden goal. How many of y'all know what that means? I didn't either. I just found out. Went to a golden goal. Had a very good season. They sustained a lot of injuries, but they kept competing, and it was very exciting to watch. First team all Southwest Ohio was Cameron Quarles. And do want to honor 2 other student athletes that couldn't be here tonight. Samit Ray, first team all conference. Nathan Whites, first team all conference. And Justin Padilla, first team all conference for our soccer team. Thank you.
All right, we're going to have our knights step right on up here to the yellow line so we can grab some pictures. Just come on up, come on up, come on up. Up in there with your picture. All right, let's give them a big giant round of applause. Congratulations to you. Hold tight right there. We got some pictures being taken. Hold tight right there for me. Give everybody a chance here. All right, with that, go ahead and turn around and say hello to our Board of Education.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's give these guys one more round of applause. They did a great job. At this time, we'll have our Colerain High School athletes and musicians step right on over to the blue line. Colerain High School students, step on over to the blue line, please. I'll go with you. Please. And just a reminder, once this whole group is done, we'll take the whole group outside, the entire group, for some group pictures. All right, let's welcome up, first off, Jacob Page. Let's hear it for Jacob Page.
Thank you very much. My name is Jacob Page. I'm the band director at Colerain High School. Tonight I get to recognize 2 students that are with us and 5 in total from Colerain High School that made District 14 Honor Band. That is all of Hamilton County and all of Claremont County. Through there were 200 apologize. 327 musicians that auditioned, and 5 were chosen from Colerain High School to participate in their honor band coming up in January. So 2 of them are with us tonight, Mr. Brandon Griffith and Miss Katie Ostenschmidt. Also on that list that weren't able to join us this evening, Christopher Romero, Elliot Hoyes, and Julian Kaufman. Thank you very much. Mr. Stone.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Stoynoff. I'm the athletic director at Colerain High School. Thank you for having us tonight, board. So we'll jump right into this. We have 28 athletes that we're going to recognize tonight. The 28 athletes, obviously, they're our top athletes in the building, so a lot of them have a winter sport right now, so they're not all with us here tonight. So our first one, we'll start with football here, Corey Myrick. Corey was first team All-GMC, second team All-District, and then just came out this week, honorable mention All-State. Our next athlete is Hayden Danielson. In our conference in the GMC, we do an award. It is new this year. It is called the Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award. That award is given to someone who has potential to be an all-league player, but also that one person on your team that you would want to represent your team in Colerain High School. And so Hayden was that for our football program. Our next athlete is Greg Williams. Greg was first team All-GMC, second team All-District, and also honorable mention All-State. He's not here with us tonight. Our next one is Zane Battle. Zane was second team All-GMC. Our next athlete is Keegan Garr. Keegan was second team All-GMC. Our next football player is Cooper Krieg. Cooper was also second team All-GMC. And the great thing about those football players is all of them but 2 are coming back, so exciting for that. Jumping into volleyball, Lauren White was first team and also for the Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award. Our next volleyball player, Nina Burton, was first team All-GMC. Next volleyball player, Tamaya King, second team All-GMC. All right, jumping into soccer, boys soccer first, Jackson Burke. Jackson is the first team and also the Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award. Our next soccer player, Liam Bell, second team All-GMC. And our next one is Cy. Cy was also second team All-GMC. All right, jumping into girls soccer, Kendall Smith is first team and also the Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award. Not here tonight with us. First team All-GMC soccer, Elizabeth Sarfo Benson. And she's at basketball too. First team All-GMC, Ava Schurz. Second team All-GMC, girls soccer, Hannah Mann. All right, on to tennis. Coach Victor Richter is our tennis coach. He is a 2-time GMC Coach of the Year. If you know anything about tennis in the GMC, that is a big deal with the Mason, Sycamores, and Lakota for our league to think that much of him. So he's not able to join us tonight, but 2-time Coach of the Year in the GMC, Victor Richter. All right, Haley Johnson, come on up. So Haley is a single season win record holder which was set in 2003. She broke that this year. And she also is a sectional finalist for us. So. All right, on to boys golf. Why don't all you guys come up here? So this is our boys golf team. All of these guys are district qualifiers. The last time we had a golf team make the districts, I was a student. And so, not too long ago, but 2006 was the last time we had any golf team qualify for districts. So congratulations to these guys. Alex Diesel, Jackson Lambernitas, Reed Schaefer, Jack Berger, and Michael Casagrande. All right, we got two more on the cross country. Second team All GMC, Ella Reiner, who's not here with us tonight. And then our last one, Lily Diebold. She's a first team with the Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award.
All right, it is a big group, but we can do it. Let's bring our Colerain High School folks right over here onto the yellow line. Come on over, come on over. Yep. Come on over, come on over. Give me just a long line right over here. All right, go ahead and put your certificates in front, and Ms. Davis, come on over as well. Ms. Davis, come on over to the picture. There we go. Everybody, big smile. We've got lots of family photos happening, so big smile there. All right, let's give these guys a big giant round of applause. You guys go ahead and turn around and give a wave for a public education. Before we head out, I know that our board would like to take a moment, so please don't leave just yet. I'll give you that instruction in just a second. I'm going to turn things back over.
I just want to thank all the parents and the school staff. I think I'm good here, right? Okay. Just thank you all for coming out tonight, and thank you for getting your athletes to practices, games, students for keeping your grades up, getting to school on time, everything that goes along with being a student athlete. So appreciate you being here so that we could recognize all your hard work, and our musicians as well. Just awesome to see how many accolades you guys continue to have. So thank you guys.
All right, what we'll do is we'll have everybody kind of shift. Yeah, we'll give them one more big round of applause. All right, we're going to shift just outside. My good friend Lindy Creasy's over here waving her hand. She's going to set up some photo opportunities. So we want to shift out there for that. You're welcome to come back in, but it also could be your exit as well. See you, man.
They thought they might have to stay, huh? Thank you.
He is the man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Dan.
Appreciate it.
You too.
Hey, good luck with that hip surgery.
Yeah.
I will.
You bet.
Absolutely.
See you, Dan.
Hey, say that again. What's your name? Nice. You graduated in '79? Okay. Nice.
You switched to college, usually the other way around.
Hey, okay.
Okay. Okay. Scottsdale, Arizona, we were just there 2 weeks ago. there for a conference with Butler Tech. Yes, ACTE. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we were out there. Okay. Sounds good. Okay.
Okay, so we will move on to our next presentation. So tonight we also have a presentation with Chris Trentman, our site supervisor for Butler Tech, and they're going to share a business competition presentation they were a part of at Mount St. Joe. Chris?
Yep, thank you. Am I on? So yes, thank you for having us tonight. I'd like to introduce Michelle Hatzel and her business students. They recently competed in a regional competition at Mount St. Joe with the likes of schools of Sycamore, Moeller, Harrison, and quite a few other schools. And they actually won the competition, so I'd like to bring them up, and they would like to talk about their experience. And the team they beat, who is not able to be here today, was Northwest, and they actually finished in second place. So, but we'd like to invite the girls to come up and talk about their experience.
This past November, we went to Mount St. Joe to compete in a business competition against 10 other schools. We came first in our round and then first overall. The prompt that we were given was a bit vague, so we could leave it up to our interpretation. We had to implement AI into a hotel system. We could choose any hotel we wanted and how we wanted to implement it. We chose to go local with a popular downtown hotel, the Cincinnatian.
Basically, we had to make a business plan and write a presentation based off of MSJ's requirements in their description. So probably like the hardest part was just like learning how to do a business plan and how to make the slideshow and the business plan like stay the same and consistent.
So when we got there, there was a bunch of other teams, and we had some time to practice, so we went over our slides, and then we got into the room, and there were like 4 other judges, the president of Mount St. Joe, and like the business leader for Mount St. Joe. So we gave our presentation to them, and we were a little scared. We didn't know how we would do because it was our first time, but we thought it went well, and we got called back during lunch to go for the finals, which is the presentation in front of everyone. So we presented in front of all the other schools and a whole like other round of judges, and we went against Northwest in that round, and we ended up winning, and it was really cool. And we felt like we could have done some things better because it was like really close. So we're excited for next year to do it again.
And there were some valuable things we learned from this competition. Being able to public speak in front of many, many people, and being able to know what to do for our next business plan. It helped us a lot in being able to think about what jobs we want to do and how we would be able to use our skills that we learned in this presentation and apply them to the jobs that we want to do. It's going to help us a lot in our future competitions and help us to know what to fix and what not to fix, especially with the judge feedback. It was a great experience overall. Yes, thank you for listening. It was a great experience. Thank you so much.
Well, congratulations to you girls and to Northwest. I think it's awesome to have both high schools in the finals together. How long did you have to prepare when you knew what the topic was going to be?
I believe it was about 2 months, so we spent a lot of time preparing. It was about every day and then many days after school just coming in and talking to each other and having to come up with all of our ideas to bring together. So, yeah.
Anybody else? No. Did you have a budget for your plan, or what was you said bringing in AI, but what else did you, budget, marketing, what were some other aspects of your plan?
Financials was a big part of the business plan that took us a long time to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just had to figure out like how much implementing the AI was going to cost the hotel and how to get the funding for it. We ended up doing like a loan, or like hypothetically we did a loan for the business, and then we had to figure out like the logistics of it, the hiring new employees, how it was going to look for their turnover rate, and how it was going to affect the business long term.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. I'm not surprised by you four being up here at all. Congratulations, and to you, Ms. Hetzel. Thank you.
Good job.
All right. We're going to move on to our Student Achievement Liaison Report.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, tonight I have from Colerain Elementary, the November Cardinal of the Month students. We have Mohammed Diop, kindergarten. Mohammed has such a kind and helpful heart. Mohammed is the first to offer help to others. He listens to his friends and knows when it's time to learn and time to play. He loves to make people laugh and also make sure friends know they are taken care of by asking if they are okay or want help. It is a joy to have him in class. For first grade, we have Everly Zioba. Everly is extremely caring and kind. She looks after her classmates and is always thinking of others. Everly is hardworking and always puts her best effort into her work. She is constantly willing to help anyone around her, including adults. I am so lucky to have her. Oops. Second grade, we have Trey Calloway. Trey is an amazing classmate and friend to others. He is polite and respectful to all students and staff. He is eager to learn and always works hard to do his best. He has the best attitude towards learning and working with others. Trey is a great example of a student who strives to soar every day. I'm so proud of his hard work. Michaela Simer. Michaela, for third grade. Michaela is a shining example of a soaring cardinal. She is a leader demonstrating smart choices and kindness. She participates in our lessons and is always willing to help me as well as students when needed. I am very happy to have Michaela here at Colerain Elementary. In fourth grade, we have Ian Capel. Ian comes to school every day and soars. He is very safe on the playground, in the hallway, and in the cafeteria. He takes ownership of his personal items and assignments by using his planner and folders. He has to go to 3 different classrooms every day, so being organized is super important. He achieves by doing his very best to learn the new material being taught. He is always respectful. I have seen the way he treats the other students in our class, and he is extremely kind and patient with them. I am happy to nominate Ian for Cardinal of the Month. In fifth grade, we have Bobby Jackson. Bobby is a great example of a student who soars in the library. He knows the expectations and consistently meets them. He makes smart choices and stays away from drama. He is always kind and considerate. Then we also have November Cardinal of the Month nominees. We have Kinsley Goodwin, Dimitri Alexander, Cash Hill, Jackson Clark, Capri Pollard, Caitlin Maley, Roman Subetti, Lexi Caudill, Braden Sipes, Riley Round, Zach Kunstman, Layla Penny, Riley Watkins, Macy Johnson, Taryn G., Ava Hester, Jameson Hardkey, Aiden Polly, Estefani Jimenez, and Evelyn Salas. That's all I have this month.
All right. Well,
Thank you.
congratulations to all those students as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations to everybody.
All right. Anything else for Butler Tech?
Yeah, just one other thing. Wednesday, we're going up to Columbus to talk to our legislators. We're going up there to ask for capital improvements because the welding group and that we have about 75 students that take welding, and by the year 2025-26 school year, we want to get up to 150 students. So we need to improve and build onto our welding area. So we're going to go up and ask the legislators if they can send some money down our way, because by the year 2027, there's going to be a need for 360,000 more welders across the country. So, you know, the companies come to us saying, we need welders, we need welders. You know, and these kids, they come out of our welding classes and that, and they start out at between $50,000 and $60,000 a year. And the need is going to be great in 2027 when they need that many welders across the country. And so that's one thing that we're going to be doing on Wednesday. Yeah, other than that,
How did the groups do that went and performed?
we had 8 groups that went out and presented out in Phoenix. There was 8 of them, and I want to say in a couple of the groups there was 175, 180 people there just to hear their presentations, and it was very, very well put together. And then it's end of February, beginning of March, what we're going to do is we're going to have where our student showcases that all these other tech schools across the country are going to come in for a couple of days, and going to see how that we run the student showcases for all of our classes and that. So that I'll have the exact dates in a couple of weeks, and then we can all go out to that if you guys have time.
Jim, I have a question. With
Sure.
the welding, what does like a starting welder who, I guess, is certified or whatever?
Well, they'll come out certified out of the Butler Tech classes, and they'll start out between $50,000 and $60,000 a year.
Okay.
Usually, in 7 to 8 years, they should be making over $100,000.
Jeez.
So it's very demanding, high-paying jobs.
Is it a high burnout? Do people stay with it?
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
For career? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's it's pretty taxing. It's tough on you to be a welder. And like I said, I gave you guys the numbers. There's going to be a
Huge
lot of
need,
needs
yeah.
out there in the next coming years.
Wow. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Chris, legislative update?
Nicole, there's really nothing of any interest. A bunch of minor things passed, but nothing that is worthy.
Thank you. Any reports from employee organizations?
Not tonight.
I did not receive any community comments.
So for the consent items tonight, we have our personnel items. We have 5 resignations, a retirement, 5 initial appointments, a change in status, as well as supplemental items, including a revised job description. And then for curriculum, we have the program of study for the 24-25 school year. This would solidify courses so they can begin scheduling after the first of the year. With that, the superintendent recommends the Board of Education approve the consent items as listed.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion or questions on these items? Passes 5-0.
Good evening. First, I'd like to ask the board to dispense with reading of and approve the November 20th regular meeting minutes. We also have our November financial report. Our all funds balance was $83 million, and our general fund unreserved balance was $47 million. Our revenues year to date are at $48 million, or about 45% through the year, and we're 42% as far as months through the year. And our expenditures were $39 million. Our weighted average return on investments was 4.13, and our list of monthly bills was our routine monthly bills, as well as we had our annual debt, principal, and interest payments. We had some paving, maintenance, a compressor, technology supplies, transportation repairs, bleachers for Colerain Middle School, the PAFR that was mailed, our bus tires, and some auxiliary and grant fund payments. This month, we also have a then and now certificate for 1 invoice, and our quarterly appropriation resolution is $157 million. This was to bring it up into match the 5-year forecast, to add the $10 million transfer, the $7 million for the capital maintenance plan, as well as some grant fund updates. So with that, I ask the board to approve the fiscal consent items as listed.
Okay, and a motion and a second.
So moved.
Any questions or discussion, Amy? Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
So we do have some other items for approval tonight. The first one is a donation of a bench to the Montford Heights Fields from the Heather family in memory of the Tim Heather, Chris's brother. So with that, I'd ask the board to approve the recommendation as listed for the donation of the bench.
So moved.
Second.
And,
You got these for
Chris,
comments?
did you want
Nicole?
to say anything? Yeah, I wanted to give you opportunity. I just wanted to get through the vote first.
My brother, you guys, if there was ever a good human being, it was my brother Tim. If you go to the Colerain High School, and I've mentioned this before, but the hallway, the cafeteria hallway, the small hallway that goes out across into the Career Center, there's a Freedom Shrine that used to be in the main hallway. And my brother was picked in 1972 as the Boy of the Year from high schools that included St. X, LaSalle, Oak Hills, I believe Finneytown and Mount Healthy. Northwest hadn't opened yet. And is the guy who would most likely succeed, and he certainly did. He had some heart issues, was cutting the grass last day of August, had chest pains, waited maybe too long, went in with a major heart attack, and was doing better after 5 weeks, and then threw a clot. And that was the end of him. So we wanted to do something that would benefit others. It's a set of 3 rows. There's no bleachers on field 2, and field 2 will be in memory of my brother Tim, and there'll be a plaque up there. And hopefully people can sit and be a little more comfortable. So I appreciate the board approving this.
It's a nice way to honor your brother and
Yeah.
everything he's done for this district also and communities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next piece is for discussion and possible action. This is a follow-up to the conversation that began at the last board meeting around the concrete in front of the Colerain High School flagpole. Concrete work has been done throughout the district in previous years, but this is one project that has not been done. So the board has been provided kind of some different options for what could happen to that area that was discussed last time in front of Colerain High School with the steps, the walkway going through that area, and then on each side of the walkway is a benched area that is currently concrete. That could be concrete, asphalt, or grass, or a combination. So wanted to see from the discussion with the board if there was consensus on a direction in which you would like to move.
Paul, I'll start off since I'm the one that brought it up. First thing, and I'm no engineer, maybe Chris, you could address it. The steps seem pretty solid to me when I looked at them and took the pictures. Your opinion on the steps, Chris?
Yeah, the steps could probably be repaired. Naturally, if you did something leading to the steps, there would be a big difference in the age of the concrete. It would look different.
But it's not in the shape
But
that
it's safe, yes.
It's
can
in
be
pretty,
repaired.
on a scale of A, B, C, D, or F, what grade would you give the steps?
The steps are probably a B.
A B, okay. Okay, so I'm thinking that my thoughts are that we've got so many benches, and the way it is now, if we put asphalt or grass in part of it, I think it'll just take away from the quality. I would be in favor of keeping the steps and not dropping the 24,000 or 28,000. Let's see, the steps are 24,000. And then go ahead and do just as it is, the concrete, and replace it, because you've seen the pictures, and it is very, very, very sad, the condition of that plaza. I suspect it's the same concrete that was there when I was there many, many years ago. And so that would be my thoughts. I'd like to hear what you guys think.
So just for some clarity, the benefit to doing the steps, sounds to me, would be it would have uniformity look between new steps
Aesthetics,
with new concrete
yeah.
pad at the top.
Correct.
So without doing the steps, we'll just have a difference.
Yes.
So, okay.
You know, Chris, I get that it looks bad, but what other needs do we have in the district or at Colerain High School where we could spend almost $200,000 on? I've been there, I've seen it. You know, I just don't, I mean, we're over at Colerain Middle School and you got the whole gymnasium torn up, trying to find out water leak. You know, what is something like that gonna cost? And I always of course, I always go back to what's the community gonna think? You know, if we tried to put a levee up, oh, well, you guys spent $200,000 almost to do the concrete out in front of Colerain High School. Not that it doesn't need to be done, but I don't know if we have other pressing needs in the district, you know, over something like this. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts. I mean, you know more about it. You know, you're at all the schools more than I am. So I'm just kind of curious on what you guys think, and maybe, you know, what Aaron maybe thinks at Colerain High School. You know, if there's other things that there's a more pressing need, you know.
Obviously, this is one area that needs to be fixed at some point. It is a trip hazard, and certain areas are bad. Maybe we could patch that up to at least make it safe. We've talked in the past about, you know, all the deferred maintenance. We've got roughly $33 million worth of deferred maintenance. We've got some looming roof issues. A lot of the things may not be seen by most people. A lot of the HVAC plumbing issues that we have. We are currently working with SHP on a project over at Northwest High School in the library, which has some very dangerous flooring in it with where the carpet has wrinkled up and created trip hazards and has to be corrected. You mentioned the gym floor over at the middle school, but we've got issues everywhere that need a lot of attention and millions of dollars.
Can you talk a little bit about the difference between doing concrete versus asphalt? What's long-term, short-term, what's the?
I ditto that question.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said I ditto that question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like, did I miss
that was
it?
going to be my next question.
Okay.
Thank you, Nicole. Right.
Yeah, so the concrete will last longer. Asphalt will have to be treated and sealed periodically. It would be a thin coat, so the plan would be to spray a tack cover over top of that so that it sticks to what concrete is left there, and then they would pave over with about 2 inches of asphalt. That would not last as long as the concrete would, but I think that's something also that we need to look at in our building projects and what we want for the front of that building.
You know, I had a question for Aaron. Aaron, how much do the kids use that area other than just when school is dismissed, they're just hanging out there before they leave? Is that pretty much all that area is used for?
Sometimes on nice days, you'll have kids go out for classes and they'll sit at the benches, so it is used for other purposes too, weather permitting. But a lot of times it is for dismissal. They'll wait for rides for quite a while, and that gives them a place that's not muddy and just a secure place under the lighting by the flagpole to wait.
Okay.
If you could redesign it for a need that you see now, that, I mean, if it's not the best idea to replace it exactly the way it is, this would obviously be the time to do that. Would there be any changes that you or Matt or any of your team would think would need to happen there that would be?
We've talked about it. I think the space is very helpful to have for different purposes, but maybe we could get away with something smaller, just so that we have an area, but not necessarily the space. Because to be used all the time at that capacity is not really frequently happening, but maybe a smaller area. I do think it is important to have something out there because when it is used for quite a few students after school. So.
Have we looked at any other companies like donating some time or facility to that area?
No.
No.
Is I had one friend of mine I met at the flagpole for a football game, and his suggestion when he saw that and he brought it up, he said, "You guys keep that looking really rotten so people know that you need money for levies." And I said, "No." I said, "We just don't have the money." But I also mentioned when I brought this up a few weeks ago about when I was selling my house, the realtor said the most important thing that looks good to make a good first impression is your front door. Well, to me, that plaza, when people come up from the parking lot, the way it looks now, I'd turn around, I wouldn't buy that house. I mean, I'd be out of there so fast. This is our front door, and I think, you know, we're putting in millions of dollars in other schools. We moved 10 million at our last meeting, 100 and, if we need to save the money. I'm not worried so much about the aesthetics. I usually do, but the steps are the steps. They're just, people don't notice those, but they do notice the concrete when they're sitting there on a bench on a nice sunny day. And as you mentioned, Chris, the fall risk, there's some really deep, deep crevices. It's not just a few little cracks. This is really sad. I wish we had the pictures again to show. But, you know, I think that we proceed with it, and unless anybody has anything else, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and do it without the steps. We can do that at another time, and we redo the plaza area as is with concrete, and have that done at the first practical moment where we have time and money and weather to do it. So that would, I don't know if you've got that, Amy.
I did.
I just have a couple more thoughts
I do too.
I want to throw out there. So I think it's safe to say that the walkway is the high traffic area.
Correct.
Okay, so just kind of a no-brainer. It seems like that needs to be concrete. And so that leaves us with the bench area with being concrete, asphalt, or grass. Grass bench area to me just sounds like a bad idea. It seems like it's like maintenance, and it's going to get worn, and you know, we're going to have like areas of mud or beat up grass. Or
the main reason I provided that option was if you wanted to make it smaller, it would give you some context on what that would cost, because you're not just leaving it for grass. You actually have to go in there, remove whatever concrete is in there, put topsoil in, seed and straw. So there is a cost.
Right. So that leads back to asphalt, you know, versus concrete for the bench area, and it's a drastic difference in cost. And it seems like asphalt in the bench area to me seems like it would be sufficient and do the job, and longevity is not as much an issue for the bench area being not as high traffic. So that's where my inclination is, if we're going to do this project, that it would be the concrete walkway and an asphalt bench area. And
What about patching the areas that are that bad? To try and get away with that until, you know, eventually we're gonna have to put a levee up, and we can include that in there to completely redo it. But is there something that we can do, like to patch it? I mean, so it's, obviously, so it's safe.
Yeah, there's obviously going to be a cost to it, but it'd be substantially less than anything else. Now, is it something that's going to last a long period of time? No.
Right.
It'll be something that we'll just have to continue to patch until we get to that point where we can replace it.
Can you bring it back to us and?
Now, let's quit delaying it, Jim. We asked them to bring it back, and they brought it back tonight. We have a board member who's leaving. It's his last meeting. I'm not one to, you know me, I'm pretty conservative about spending money in tax levies, but this bringing back, well, when somebody falls and we have $1 million lawsuit because they broke a hip out there, I know you'd think, oh, it hasn't happened. Well, things happen. Let's either decide tonight or just table it, and you guys, then the next board can decide. But you know, we asked them to bring it back, and that's what they did. So let's quit with the bringing it back.
My comment with the patching is, in Chris, Aaron, Matt, you can all speak to this if I'm, you know, incorrect in my memory, but it's really bad. So to patch it, it would basically literally almost be a skim coat across the entire area.
Correct.
because it's that bad. So, and that's not gonna last.
No.
So I doesn't seem like that's the best, best option is the patch. So I'd be more inclined to move forward with some type of plan. And like I stated before, my inclination is a concrete walkway with an asphalt bench area. And I think,
So if you're talking a concrete walkway in the asphalt, what would that cost?
that's without stairs, what,
Yeah,
63?
63, 252.
Say that again?
63.
Right around
$63,000.
$63,000.
Yeah. As opposed to a concrete walkway with a concrete bench would jump it up 110,000 to 171.
Correct.
And that's without stairs.
Matt, you know concrete, or the asphalt will be black. It's gonna look like the parking lot.
Correct. Yes.
I mean, it's certainly better than what we've got, but
Right.
we can start with my motion, then you can make your motion if mine doesn't pass.
We can go with that.
Is this going to delay the work at Corey Middle School getting that gym back and working?
No.
Matt and Aaron, if we were to reduce the size of it, would you say 50%, 30%? Like, what would you think?
What we looked at was 50%.
50?
Yeah. It's the last option that we provided you guys with, the walkway concrete, and then 50% of each bench area as concrete, and the other 50% being grass.
And how much is that, Daryl?
Without the stairs, it's around 115,000.
And that's benches as well?
Just for half, yeah. And then the other half would be grass.
But the benches are included in this quote?
They would stay.
The benches that are there presently would stay?
Would stay.
They're in good shape. The benches are in good shape.
I'm not a big fan of benches. If you were to replace the benches, Chris, what would you recommend? Like the metal coated ones that we see in the parks and things like that now?
Those would be nice, but they're extremely expensive.
Are they?
Comments? I don't feel comfortable spending two people's salaries on concreting the entire area. Personally, I think that's not a very responsible thing for us to vote on here. I'm by no means an expert on concrete or asphalt, but I would be willing to do some of the pieces. I agree that it needs to be done, but all of our buildings, with the exception of these, have needs, and I would like to leave it up to the experts that are in the buildings every day, Nadia, Aaron, Matt, and yourself and your team, to say what's of a high priority that needs to be done. I don't feel spending $145,000 is, excuse me, a responsible thing to do.
I agree with you. I just think the community is just going to lambaste us. You know, we're spending this kind of money, and, you know, we went out and we're trying to ask for new schools for these kids in our district, and I think it's just, I get what you're saying, Chris. I
want it to be safe. It needs to be safe, so let's
absolutely.
do pieces of it that make it safe, and obviously with that would be more appealing than the way it is today.
Well, I would be willing to compromise with, it's not safe. I mean, it's horrible, you guys, and it just makes our Colerain High School, whether, I don't care where you live in this district, the bottom line is it's the flagship school of the Northwest School District. When people think of Colerain High School, they think of Northwest and vice versa. I'd be willing, just for the sake of it looking good and the safety's sake, I'd be willing to compromise and change that motion to concrete walkway with asphalt bench area. Without the stairs, now we're looking at 63,000. If you guys want me to support the levy that's coming up, I'm playing hardball here. I will not support any levy. If you can't give me this victory here on something we all can use, I will oppose your levy. I hate to play like that, but it's always, let's put it off, let's get more reviews. I didn't want to go with the last levy, but I did in the spirit of team unity. Look what happened to it. It lost 3-1. And
Well, we haven't agreed to put a levy up.
well, there's going to be one.
We haven't even had the discussion to put a levy
Jim, there's
up.
going to be one. You know it. We've talked about it. And I don't know when it's going to be, but, you know, this is a team effort here, and it just seems this is not like we're asking for $6.3 million. We're asking for $63,000. We just moved $10 million to Montford Heights Elementary School to update that, which is a school that's 25 years old. If we can't move 63,
No.
well, what we did with the $10 million at our last meeting.
We put it
That
into a
goes-
fund for maintenance going forward so that our buildings that are newer do not get into the shape of the buildings that we're dealing with today.
That was for the 3 new schools.
In Montford.
Including Montford.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. But we didn't ask for the detail on that. We just voted on it. I didn't say, come back with a plan on what you're gonna do with the 10 million. I trust that Chris and Daryl are gonna do the right thing. Chris, in your opinion, and you know, you've always been a straight shooter, is spending $63,000 to compromise and do the concrete walkway and asphalt bench area, is that something you think is reasonable?
I think cost-wise, yeah. I mean, that's something that is reasonable. It's something that's needed. Just like I said, there's many things that are needed that we need to address, and it's one of them.
And is this, in your opinion, one of the things that, in priority, would you put this as a low or medium or high priority thing?
Looking at money, I don't think it would be a high priority right now. It's been that way for many years. I think there needs to be work to clean it up, to make it safer. But I don't know that we have the funds available. But we could get it done if that's what the board chooses to do.
Okay.
So, I'll second your amended motion that,
Matt.
for a concrete walkway with asphalt bench
Yeah.
area.
Okay, so
and
Amy.
without the stairs.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
So is there, so
Am
with
on
the
this?
asphalt bench area, is there, outside of it being asphalt and being black, dark, all that, is there, what's other downsides to going with asphalt instead of
Heat.
concrete? Heat, okay. So, hopefully everybody's wearing shoes.
It'll just radiate a lot of heat. I don't think you'll have too many people sitting out there during the hot weather.
Okay.
So if we're ready for the motion, I want to make sure that we get the language correct for the motion, that this would be for the board to approve the concrete project at Colerain High School to include the walkway with concrete and the bench area with asphalt and exceed the board authorized 3% partnership resolution with the community for the cost of the project. So that way it would come out of the cash reserves versus our current operating expenses for the year that have already been budgeted.
Okay, and we're gonna leave the steps out.
This would just be for the
plaza.
walkway to be
The flat
concrete
surface.
and the 2 bench areas to be asphalt.
Okay.
Do the steps need to be fixed a little bit or anything, or
There-
just
there-
something
Yes,
minor?
there's a little patching, but
Okay.
it's very minor.
I just want to say that I personally don't like to feel like you're threatening me into some type of business decision. I spend money as a board member, the way I would spend money at my home. And that is, I put it through the due diligence, and if it, and for you to kind of politicize this the way you are is incredibly offensive to me.
Well, Mark, I'm sorry to offend you, that you're that thin-skinned. I just say that, you know, there's things that are important to other board members, like the levy, which I knew would lose big, and it was how much money it cost us. We had organization against it more than I've seen, and I've lived in the district since 1956, Mark. I've never seen opposition like that, and they're waiting to do it again. I'm sorry if you feel that way. I don't like operating with a gun to my head either, but, you know, when we hear that, let's come back, and I throw you guys victories. I don't ask for much.
This isn't about that. This is about making a responsible decision. So we're having a discussion about it, and if we come back in 3 weeks and decide which one of these options is the best one, then that's the way that we go.
Well, we have a motion here. We have a board member who's leaving, who seems to realize the importance of a safe. I don't have anything to gain from this. I mean, you know, you're acting like this is some, you know, I'm like doing, you pass my bill, I'll pass yours,
You
but I'm
said
just.
that.
That's exactly what you said, Chris.
I'm just saying, Mark, that if you look at that, it is a reflection that we have a district that is going down, that is in bad shape. It is a mess. It is an embarrassment. I mean, I don't know what else I can do, Mark. I mean, I know, Mark, you're a man of principle, and I appreciate that, but I just think that this should be a priority thing before somebody gets hurt. And when teams come and visit us, people come for the craft shows, they park in that parking lot and walk across that awful cement that looks like something that, you know, hasn't been attended to in 30 years, which it probably hasn't. It's a bad reflection on our school district. And, you know, again, we're not asking for millions of dollars here. We're asking for 63. And I'm one vote of 5. Mark, if you feel that way, then just certainly vote no.
Chris, I believe that something needs to be done with it. It's really how you present it and then try to paint us in a corner is offensive to me. I think it's unprofessional, and we're on Waycross TV, and this is going to go out to our community, and they're going to look at it like we're 5 politicians just sitting up here bartering with each other. To me, it comes off like Cincinnati City Council.
Well, I am sorry if it comes off that way, but I'm just saying that we have, as I said, a board member who's leaving, who I think should have a vote on this. I could say, you know, let's wait until we have a new board in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever it is. But, you know, I am looking at this. I don't know how, any other way to try to convince you folks that, you know, we work, you know, when there's common ground, we stay together. And yes, we do need a levy, but, you know, we also have appraisals. We have the police levy that's coming back that failed. And I have been on both sides of these levies over the past, and I am sorry to have to use that, but that's how important this is to me.
Well, using that has no merit on my vote. However you phrase it, I will vote with what I feel comfortable.
That's fine. That's what I would want you to do.
I'd like to add that, I mean, I agree with Mark on your remarks. It didn't seem necessary to go there with, you know, with, I'll say it seems like bullying, and it didn't seem necessary. But despite how you came across, Chris, I made the motion, and my vote's going to reflect, you know, that I feel that something, you know, needs to be done in the area, but we do need to be, you know, more fiscally responsible in what we're doing and doing, you know, enough to get the job done of what we need to do. So that's my comments on that matter.
I just think we should. I'm not gonna vote to spend $195,000 and do all concrete, and that's just I'm not gonna do that because I don't think that shows to the community that we're being fiscally responsible.
We didn't make a motion, Jim, to
Right.
63,000.
No, I know, I wasn't finished, but I don't have a problem doing something to fix it. It needs to be done. I've been up there. I see it. I get it. But you can't bully the rest of the other 4 board members that are sitting up here, and that's what it came across as. And I mean, I'm not gonna play that game and say, well, you know what, you got a bully like that. I'm not gonna vote for your.
Was it bullying, Jim, when?
I'm just saying that's what it felt like. I mean,
Jim,
the rest
Jim,
and the rest of the board thought that.
What
but
about?
But I know there's a motion up here. I would tend to agree more spending 63,000 than 195,000. It needs to be done. Something needs to be done. I agree with you there, but you know, I don't know.
Well, I apologize for the bullying.
No, I know. I don't operate that way.
But Jim, you do, because in the past,
I
you've
don't.
threatened to cut Colerain football, Colerain show cards if levies didn't pass. So don't say that you haven't played the political game.
I never
too.
did that. That's what was brought to us by the superintendent of the, and we.
No, that's not the way I
Yes, it
remember
was.
it.
It was not the school board that made those decisions.
the way
They
I
brought
remember
back to us.
All right, so back to this, what we're talking about here. Do we have a motion and a second, or what do we need to change?
So I believe we
here?
already have that. So this would be the board recommending to approve the concrete around the flagpole at Corrin High School to include the walkway with concrete, the bench area with asphalt, and to exceed the 3% community partnership resolution for the cost of the project. And I believe Chris motioned that and Matt seconded that. So that would take you to the vote.
Thanks, Daryl.
So I don't have any further comments. I'm ready to call for a vote if the rest of the board is at that stage.
I just want to say, I know when I put my driveway in, it was incredibly expensive, and I live in like middle-class neighborhood. So I don't think 60,000 is a lot to fix this area. It's how it's presented to me. And I can go along with that as long as Matt and Aaron are involved in this, that if there has to be changes in that sitting area of any type for anything, I want them to be involved. I don't want it to be another project that we finish and then 2 months after it, we look back and go, oh, we should have done this, or we should have done this. That's the only thing I have.
Yeah, and they have been involved in the conversation leading up to this. They've seen
And I
all the
wasn't making
options.
an inference that we
and
didn't.
we
I
will
just-
keep them in the loop as the project
They're
progresses.
the building leaders, so they should have some type of say for that.
I agree with that, Mark. Absolutely.
I had wisdom teeth that were less painful than that.
So we have 2 other items that are only for information. One is a list of revisions to our policies. We do our policy reviews semi-annually, so these are semi-annual revisions. They are for information tonight, and they will be voted on at the next meeting. And that brings us to the next meeting. This has the list of proposed dates for the 2024 Board of Education meetings. Those will be finalized at the organizational meeting, which we will do our proper notification to the community that would be on January 8th. And there are 4 organizational meetings on that meeting, on that January 8th day. So those are all for information. And then just a couple of things for updates tonight. Just want to address the email that went out to our families last night concerning the threat. Obviously, last night, yesterday, there were threats made against districts statewide. This is following what happened in Texas last week. We were in communication with Colerain Township Police and the FBI, who were actively investigating that. And so, based on all the information that we were getting from those sources, it was deemed to be a hoax yesterday by the FBI. We had school today, and we did ask that our staff remain extra vigilant and make sure that they are aware of their surroundings, monitoring exterior doors, doing a lot of the protocols we have in place, but just with a little bit of extra scrutiny and higher focus on that. But that is something that obviously is disturbing and sad that this continues to happen and that schools continue to be a target for this kind of behavior. And we will continue to take safety as a top priority, do what we can to protect our students, and we appreciate that our community and our students stay aware and vigilant as well, and always, when they see something, say something, and make sure that we work together to maintain a safe environment. From that, going into the fact that we are in the mad rush to our winter break, and there are a lot of opportunities to really focus on the positive things. Our students work really hard. You saw our students here tonight from the athletic and music perspective, and there are a lot of concerts and events that are happening in the next week leading up to our break. And it's a great opportunity to see our students shine in really remarkable ways, remember the purpose of the season, as well as celebrate the accomplishments of students and really understand the importance of what we do as a school beyond just the academics our students receive, but the holistic educational experience that they get. So we are leading up to the winter break, and so our students will be off from December 20th through January 2nd, and we look forward to welcoming them back on January 3rd. And as was mentioned earlier tonight, Matt Tietzort is finishing his term as board member, and so we want to take a moment and just extend our gratitude and thanks to the service that Matt has provided the district, the time that he's put in, the work that he's done, the discussion, the thoughtfulness. And so we have a small gift and token of our appreciation for your time on the board, Matt, and we really appreciate all of the work that you've put into being a board member for the district. And that's all I have tonight.
If you'll just pause for a second, I'll grab a photo.
Okay.
Ms. Darrell, can I have you as business?
Can we do it at the end?
Okay.
I did have a couple questions just from this past week. We had, I think it was 2 days with bus cancellations.
Yeah, last week we had 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. So the communication that the school did not receive, and then the communication that the parents didn't receive, have those issues been resolved?
Our internal communication has been resolved. They're still working on the system communication. There's 2 systems that we're dealing with. One is the transportation system and one is the communication system, and there's a nightly sync and upload that happens. And for some reason, the nightly sync didn't happen the way it was supposed to, and some of the records were erased, and so they're working with, our tech department is working with the developer to figure out what happened in that so that those records stay synced the way they're supposed to and records aren't deleted. So we're still working on that, but we have fixed the other communications.
So just working in IT, if I know something is not maybe working right, I just send an all-user email. I mean, we should have a backup plan so that parents aren't missing work. Kids are standing out at the bus stop. There's got to be, we need a backup plan so that the parents, the schools didn't know, some of them the second day either. So what's our backup plan so this doesn't happen again?
So we have internal communication with backup plans. The other communication, we haven't had a cancellation since we found out the sync wasn't working. So if we have a cancellation prior to that sync issue being fixed, then it would just be using our school-based list and sending it out to everyone versus the bus list, because we know that the school lists are correct.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, hopefully we can do that. Okay. Thank you. Do we see any more cancellations happening before the end of this break, or
We
will
hope not.
there's-
We've had some additional drivers who have been hired on as subs. So we're hoping that moving forward, we're getting that sub pool built up. But because they're not contracted, they're subs, so they're not always available on every day. And then so when there's a decrease in the subs, just like there is in the building, then it creates a hole that we have to fill back. So we're hoping that we're getting better, but I'm not going to say we're perfect.
I think, I mean, just a few days is a lot, we're in a lot better. of
We're a lot
place
better than we were last year.
But it's just about the communication piece has
Yeah.
to be better. Okay, thank you.
I just have a couple comments on the, back to the hoax incident that we had. And it's, I don't fault any parent that kept their student home, today, erring on the side of caution, whatever your, personal reasons for. But I just like to say, I have confidence in our district that if there's any type of legitimacy to the concern, correct me if I'm wrong, Daryl, but if there's any type of legitimacy to, concern, that school would have been canceled today.
Absolutely.
And going forward. So it's, sadly, these are happening more often. And if there's, any legitimacy, then, action will be taken where there won't be school or what have you. But if there's, like in this situation with the hoax, I assume like the schools were cleared yesterday because we had notice. It's not like the hoax came, this morning, last minute before school started today. We had notice yesterday to make sure that the buildings were safe. And along with the email that went home to the parents, for the students and parents to be extra vigilant, all our staff members, and I would like to think that all our staff members are vigilant every day, but they were especially vigilant today. So if there was anything out of the ordinary, then action would have been taken at that individual school building if something came up, to keep the kids safe. So I just, would ask the community to have, confidence in the district that they do have the safety first of your students in mind. And, it's better to have them in the classroom. But, we don't want them in the classroom if they're not safe. And that's my 2 cents on that.
And when things like this happen, we do have a practice of informing our families. So we always make sure that we communicate when things like this happen, because we want to make sure that our families are aware of what's going on as well, and the actions that we've taken.
So, I'll just add that's like, I don't have any students currently in the district, but if I did, I would have sent my own children to school today. So, there's that. And that's all I have.
So next we need to select a chairperson pro temp who will act as chairperson pro temp until our next board meeting when we nominate and select
Do you need a motion?
positions. Yes, please.
I nominate Nicole.
I second that.
Thank you.
Feather in your cap.
Chris?
Couple things, Nicole. First of all, I wanted to thank Matt for his honest and faithful service. I know it's been said to you, Matt, but there's a lot of good in you, Matt Teetsort. I guess I didn't even know we were second cousins until I got on the board. But my grandma's last name was Simmons, and his grandma's last name is Simmons, and I knew his grandma. She actually saw Little Green Men.
We started connecting those dots with the first year at the Colerain Booster staff.
Yeah, and she was written up in the Cincinnati Post and Time-Star.
Talk about a small world.
Yeah, and Matt did not know about that. And I even talked to your grandma about that, and she said that they were little 3-foot creatures in rural Georgia, that she was driving 3 o'clock in the morning, and they had claws for hands, and they had like cape-like outfits on with skinny heads. And Matt had known about that, and then he looked it up and for sure found the articles in the papers from the 1950s.
This was national news back in the 60s.
It was the 50s, I think, Matt, wasn't it?
What's that?
In the 50s?
50s,
Maybe 60s,
50s,
early
60s. It was,
But
yeah.
anyway, so we're related, but Matt, you did a nice job, and I will miss you.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay. Second thing, and you're probably tired of it, and I apologize to my fellow board members. There's nothing worse than having, it's bad enough at work where you have people you can't stand, and you got to work with them. Generally, we all get along, but this was an important issue to me, so let's put it to rest now, okay? But my second big thing is the cell phone thing. And I have an urgent news bulletin, if you'll indulge with me for just about 60 seconds, from Maple Grove Middle School in Minnesota. A middle school in Minnesota banned students' cell phones a year ago, and the difference it made was night and day, according to school officials. I believe the ban is game-changing and will have lasting impacts on our students for years to come, Maple Grove Middle School Principal Patrick Smith told WCCO-TV. There was no cross-the-table conversations. There was no interaction in the hallways. Let's be real with these devices, our students, especially our teenagers. There's lots of drama that comes from social media and a lot of conflict that also comes from it. Last year, school officials banned students' cell phone use for the entire day from 8:10 to 2:40, following a variety of issues at the school tied to these devices. I'll conclude with this last paragraph. We have a culture and climate concern. We see issues that kids are getting on their phones through the interactions of bullying, setting up fights, just the gambit of a lot of negative things kids are doing, going back and forth on social media, Smith said, adding that the distraction from learning was also a major concern. So hopefully down the road we can do something. Mark and I talked about it this week, some devices to lock them up. I think the locker is probably the best place to lock them up, but that's something we can continue to discuss. And that is it. Thank you.
Jim?
I want to thank the two schools that were here identifying all of our athletes. It's good to see the kids here, and the whole place was packed, which was awesome. And then I want to thank Matt for your 4 years. You've been a very good board member, and you always had the interest of the kids first in line. And I really appreciate that, and want to thank you for your time. That's it.
Matt, do you want to go last, or would you rather go now? It's up to you.
I'll go last.
Yeah, I just want to thank Matt. After this, you can grow your ponytail back.
Yeah.
I want to thank the schools, like Jim was saying, that were here this evening. It's great seeing the kids excel. The business presentation was amazing. There's a lot of, I can't even imagine that, probably hundreds of hours behind the scenes with these guys. And they just were crazy excited about presenting it, so that's awesome. I've been with you in a lot of different things over the last 4 years. You've been a great board member, and I second the comment of kids are always at the center of your decision making. And this is pretty much a thankless job, but you hung in there and fought through everything that we've had to fight through, and we've been through in our term quite a bit.
Definitely.
So you've done very, very well. Good and faithful servant.
Thank you.
I would like to start out by thanking the students and parents that came tonight, as well as our building leadership, Nate's Toy Box and Son Ministries for this past weekend was their food and toy distribution, and Side by Side was there, and the whole event went extremely well. We were well represented with volunteers. Our football teams were both there, and many students and families volunteering. Excuse me. So that was a great event. and just wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and thank you to Matt. It's been an honor to serve with you for the past 2 years. Even though, you know, some things we haven't agreed on up here, we've always remained professional and courteous and respectful towards each other. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Okay, all right, well, I'll start with, thank you to the students that came from Pleasant Middle, Northwest High School, Colerain High School, the student athletes, the band members. It's always great to see, what the great things that our students are doing in the district. And I'd like to thank the staff, the rest of the board for their service and working together the last 4 years. Daryl and Amy and Lindsay for all your help with the student liaison reports and all the building administration that submits the reports to Lindsay to be forwarded, so that I'll have something to report for the student achievements every meeting. And all the other staff for their help in my board service. It's been a privilege, honor, my pleasure to serve the community in this role the past 4 years, and make every decision, to the best of my service to serve the community and have the students in mind, improve student achievement, and make our district the best that it can be. That's all I have. Thank you.
Nancy Slattery, who will be joining us in January on the board. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
Need a motion and
Good
a
luck,
second
Nancy, in
to
your new
adjourn.
role.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I appreciate it.
Motion and a second.
So move.
Second.
Got the last one.
Mhm.
Okay, passes 5-0. Thank you.
This was very.